Lagos never sleeps. The city glows with bright lights, the sound of car horns, and the chatter of people. In the heart of the city stood a grand mansion, taller and shinier than the others. Inside that mansion lived a girl named Adanna. She was 25 years old, beautiful, and the only daughter of Chief Obinna, one of the richest men in Nigeria. But Adanna had a problem. She was very proud. She looked down on everyone who was not rich like her. She never greeted the gatemen, never spoke kindly to the drivers, and always insulted the maids. She thought money was everything. One evening, Adanna sat in a fancy restaurant with her friends. The waiter, a young man in a simple uniform, approached her table. "Good evening, ma'am. What would you like to order?" he asked politely. Adanna wrinkled her nose. "Do I look like I want to talk to a common waiter?" "Go away," she snapped. The waiter bowed his head and left. Her friends laughed, but an old woman sitting nearby shook her head. She had been watching Adanna for some time. She had seen the way she treated people. That night, as Adanna left the restaurant, the old woman stood in her way. "Young lady, be careful. Pride goes before a fall," the woman said in a quiet voice. Adanna rolled her eyes. "Get out of my way, old woman. You are too poor to talk to me." She stepped into her car and zoomed off, laughing. But something strange happened the next morning. When Adanna woke up, she stretched and reached for her phone. It was not there. She rang the bell for her maid. No one came. She got up and walked to the window. Her father's mansion was gone. Instead, she found herself in a tiny, broken-down room. The bed was hard, the walls were dirty, and outside, she heard the noise of street hawkers. She ran outside, confused. "Where am I?" she shouted. People stared at her like she was mad. She was no longer wearing her designer clothes. Instead, she wore an old t-shirt and torn jeans. She had no shoes. She ran to a small food seller by the roadside. "Madam, please, where am I?" she asked desperately. The woman gave her a strange look. "You dey Lagos, my dear. Are you okay?" Adanna's heart pounded. No. I live in a mansion in Ikoyi. My name is Adanna Obinna," she cried. The woman laughed. "Adanna Obinna? You must be joking. That girl is a billionaire's daughter. You look nothing like her." Adanna ran to her father's company. The guards at the gate did not recognize her. She begged and pleaded, but they pushed her away. Days passed. She had no food, no money, and no home. She slept on the streets, just like the people she had once insulted. She begged for food, but no one listened. She was hungry and tired. One day, she saw the same waiter she had insulted at the restaurant. He was buying food from a roadside vendor. Adanna ran to him. "Please, sir, I am hungry. Help me," she begged. The waiter looked at her closely. "Do I know you?" he asked. Tears filled Adanna's eyes. "Yes, it's me, Adanna. I treated you badly before. But please, I have changed. Help me." The waiter felt sorry for her. He bought her food and gave her a small amount of money. "Be kind to people. Life is unpredictable," he said. That night, Adanna slept with a grateful heart. She had learned her lesson. The next morning, she woke up, and she was back in her mansion. She ran to the mirror. She was wearing her expensive nightdress again. She rushed downstairs. The house was the same. The maids, the guards, everything was back. Had it all been a dream? Adanna smiled. No, it was a warning. From that day, she changed. She greeted the maids, respected the guards, and treated people with kindness. The arrogant Adanna was gone forever. And somewhere in the city, an old woman smiled.